The decision from the Supreme Court today gathering a lot of reaction, but what does it really mean for Americans and us here in Connecticut?
Joining us now to discuss the ruling is Dailey, a professor at UConn Law. Professor, we appreciate you joining us tonight. So the Supreme Court wrote in its opinion that nothing in the Constitution guarantees the right to obtain an abortion, and in fact it does not mention abortion. 3 justices dissented. Lots of other people clearly disagree. So what's the legal objection to the majority's line of thinking there?
Well, thanks for having me. Yes, well, the Constitution does contain a lot of provisions protecting our rights, including our rights to liberty, which are understood to encompass an individual's right to choose how to live their life, how to, control over their own bodies, control over their moral decisions, and the right to abortion falls squarely within that longstanding tradition. In addition, there are many other rights that are not expressly protected in the Constitution, and the court recognizes that those are longstanding and well-respected rights. The right to parent your child, for example, the right to a marriage, those more traditional rights, the court is willing to uphold. So there's a bit of picking and choosing what rights the court likes and what they doesn't. And that's one of the problems with this decision, is that it feels like a court that's kind of has a political agenda at a time when I think upholding the Roe against Wade would have been a strong reassurance to the country that of stability in law, that the rule of law is above politics.
Okay, so we're seeing a lot of strong reaction. I'm sure you're seeing it too from people who are pro-abortion, a lot of them saying that this could have implications on other precedents the court has set, things like same-sex marriage, like Obergefell, and even legalized contraception. So these are other major landmark Supreme Court rulings that we've seen in the past. Where is this coming from? First of all, where are people getting these ideas that now it's going to apply to all these other decisions? And could we see these other cases challenged now?
Yes, absolutely. And it's coming from the court's opinion itself. When you read it, Justice Alito, proclaims that they are not overturning those earlier decisions, right to contraceptives, right to private sexual conduct, right to same-sex marriage. But as the dissent points out, there's nothing in the court's reasoning that prevents those precedents also to fall. Indeed, if the court is going to adhere to its reasoning in this case, in the Dobbs case, then by, dint of its own approach, it's going to put those precedents in jeopardy as well. And in fact, Justice Thomas in his concurrence comes straight out and says, the court didn't go far enough here. It needs to revisit those cases as well. So it's coming.
So, Professor Dailey, Roe v. Wade was itself originally a Supreme Court ruling. Now it's been overturned by a different Supreme Court. When and how might today's ruling be revisited by a future Supreme Court?
Well, you worry about that kind of instability. I mean, we have a principle. It's called stare decisis. And the idea is essentially, Supreme Court decisions deserve a kind of respect. It reassures us all that the rule of law, that we're under, the rule of law, that our laws don't change simply with, different persons being appointed to the Supreme Court. It's not about individual justices and their own views. It's about a stable system where precedent is respected. And this decision where a court overrules prior precedent that had been established, that in 1992, the court actually addressed this very question: should Roe against Wade be overturned? And the court, in a carefully reasoned opinion, said no. It may not have, Roe may not have been the most well-reasoned opinion at the time, but it's settled law. And in the absence of compelling reasons to overturn settled law, that's what it means to live in a constitutional democracy. So we worry about the future. There's potentially, this opinion is damaging on a lot of levels, and some of them have to do with the kind of chaos this opinion is going to reap at the state level as states scramble to try to understand and manage the kind of complexity that's going to follow as some states try to criminalize conduct that occurs in other states, for example, criminalize or make individuals liable for assisting persons who cross state lines to obtain an abortion. But also the Supreme Court isn't going to be out of the business of deciding abortion cases. There's so many issues that the court has left unresolved. So.
All right. Professor Dailey, I'm sorry to cut you off. We are out of time there. We certainly appreciate you joining us, and we appreciate your expertise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.